was just days away from my big cross-country road trip from North Carolina, where I grew up, back to Los Angeles. I had a new home picked out. I was excited, but I was mostly just so overwhelmed. But I decided to take a break from packing to go to the adult night at Skatehaven, where I used to go to birthday parties as a kid. It was the neighborhood roller skating rink, and well, Susan, my stepmom, actually owns a roller skate shop in Winston, Salem, and ships worldwide. And well, she loves to skate, my sisters love to skate, my brother Nick, my niece. Anyways, it's a bit of a family affair, and I decided I needed to take a break and go have some fun. Most of the roller skating I've done has been at the beaches in the Los Angeles area. Santa Monica, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan, Venice. Oh, it's just beautiful. You're looking out at the ocean and the mountains and all the interesting people along the way. But there's something so communal about roller skating at a rink, with everybody listening to the same music, and you start seeing the same faces week to week. The camaraderie, people are happy to show you new moves. There's just a really good vibe. If it wasn't already obvious, you're not gonna see me doing any of these fancy moves. I mean, I am all about trying new things and challenges, but when it comes to roller skating, for the most part, I'm pretty happy just skating around, listening to my music, dancing, having a good old time. I do love to partner skate, and well, I did try this smooth move, but it wasn't quite so smooth when I did it. But hats off to all these fine folks who give me something to admire and film and just love. And then it was time to really get it together. So I started packing, put a couple sentimental bottles of wine in the corner of the back seat, and then look, I even fit my Uncle Dave's antique stand-up radio. I was so happy about that. I had the cowboy boots I wore in the Old Town Road music video and just lots of things. It was stuffed. So there's this couple that were walking by. I've seen them so many times, but I guess I've been inside or something. Anyways, I've never actually said hello. And I say hello now because they kind of like looked in my trunk like, is the owner around? What's going on? Ooh, there goes the sun. And I was like, I'm driving to California on Sunday. And they're like, oh, he's like, what part? And I'm like, oh, LA. He's like, oh, I grew up in LA. He grew up in LA, and he asked me exactly where I was going, and I told him I lived in Hollywood, and then Santa Monica, and then Hermosa, et cetera, and where I was headed. And yeah, it was like such a neat connection. He grew up there. He's been living in Winston-Salem for many years, and then him and his wife spend time in Italy each year. That's kind of like what I've been also creating, this life where I'll have a home base out there and then spend ample time in North Carolina, but then also be in France each year, kind of a tri-coastal sort of thing. So anyways, it was so interesting that I would finally say hello to them, and they would have the same very unique situation. Anyways, very friendly, and yeah, really neat to make that connection. So I just love this mug that one of my best friends, Katie, gave me. On one side is a map of California, and on the other side is a cowboy boot with flowers growing out of it. Now, over 7 years ago, I had some neighbors that moved, and they left me a cowboy boot with flowers in it. And I just love this thing. So I've had it so long, and I brought it all the way with me from California to North Carolina. The succulent I had in it didn't quite make it. I had to replant a new one, but this cowboy boot is now in my car, ready to go back home. When I drove here from California, I came the northern route. I went straight up near Seattle to Leavenworth, stopped in Idaho, saw one of my best friends, then went to Montana, saw more best friends, and then kind of drove across the Dakotas, through Michigan, Ohio. When I stopped in Ohio, I saw my friend Jessica who I'm seeing today in Nashville. I remember so well, like, driving down from Ohio. I think I arrived to Winston-Salem at like 1 in the morning. So, you know, it was totally dark and came from the north. So this is a whole different perspective. I-40 goes from Wilmington, North Carolina, clear across the country, and at a certain point meets up with where like old Route 66 is. So I'll get a taste of that. Just a whole new experience. I mean, I've been on I-40 so many times. I went to college at NC State and I studied documentary film at Duke, and so going between school and family in Winston-Salem, I was on I-40 a lot, but haven't ever been clear across the country, which eventually it kind of ends up connecting to the 10. You just keep going across and it kind of becomes the 10, and then the 10, Route 66, drops you off in Santa Monica, and there's a sign, and I've stood there so many times right at the Santa Monica Pier. So it's just, I don't know, it's very special to me to have the home where I grew up here in North Carolina. And I lived in Santa Monica. It's one of the places I've lived in LA. It's really cool that they're connected by really the same road. I just love navigating new roads, and again, having spots on where it's like, oh, it's that other thing, or here's the exit for fun. It's like the perfect balance of loved ones and familiarity and new things and adventure. But for today, I'm not that far from Knoxville, stop number 1. A while back, I was in North Carolina doing a salsa dance event, and a guy from Roanoke came down for it, and he was such a good dancer and so nice, and we just stayed in touch. And somewhere along the lines when I was planning this trip, I found out he moved to Knoxville. So between that and hearing the new Texas Hold'em song by Beyonce, I kind of came up with this idea of how I might stretch my legs on this trip. Yay! This is so awesome!
Good to see you.
Oh, this is like so cool to see you in real life. Yay! Alright, and you're cool if I film this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh! So wait, how long have you been living here?
Since December.
Okay, like you're very fresh.
Yes.
This is like such good timing.
Right.
My gosh, like just in the nick of time to be coming through when you're here. Oh my gosh. I'm glad it was such a good move for you.
Yes, sir.
I mean, having that like feeling of home.
Yeah, I like it. I don't think I ever want to move. Like, I really like it. That means, like, this is where I want to stay. Seriously.
I mean, I'm really happy for you because I feel that way about moving to Topanga, and it feels like it's been like a long search to find a place where I'd feel like so at home too. So I get that. And you've been a lot of places as well, and you're thinking like maybe out west again, you know, and going to Seattle and stuff. So I'm glad you're like, no, this is it. How would you describe, I don't know, like the culture here?
The culture's really cool. It's like, it's so the South, but it's like super friendly. Everybody's just nice, and everyone like engages. Like, you're out, someone's going to talk to you, and it's going to be friendly. It's going to be a good experience. That was like really cool to see. And it's just like home. So it reminds me of that.
Subscribe to my channel, Nice to Meet You with Lisa, and then look for my next episode when I land in Nashville for a fun night out.